Listen and practice.
My favorite hobby is cooking, and that's a thing you do at home, obviously. I cook most days, though not every day. We also like eating out. What clothes and equipment do I need? Well, I often wear an apron to protect my clothes because you can make a mess when you're cooking, and tomatoes and spices change the color of your clothes forever. The most important piece of equipment is knives, and I'm very particular about my knives. They're German and very sharp, and I really take care of them. Obviously, in the kitchen, you need all sorts of things like pots and pans and baking dishes and chopping boards and food mixers, but I don't really have a lot of gadgets. I like to keep things simple. What I like about cooking is the fact that it's creative and it's real. We have to eat, and what we eat is really important. So I like to know that what I'm eating and what my family is eating is good. I actually like all the preparation. Going out shopping, seeing the food, feeling it, smelling it, talking to the people who are selling it is half the fun. People often ask me what I like cooking, and I don't really have an answer. Whatever looks good and whatever I feel like cooking that day. The best part is, of course, seeing people enjoy my food. But what's also very important to me is seeing everyone happy and enjoying being at the table. It's about the occasion as much as the food.
Listen and practice.
My plans for the future? I'm not really sure. You see, I just left this job that I had for almost 10 years. I'm looking for a new job, but I don't want to take just any job. I'd like to find something that I will really enjoy doing. I've always wanted to paint, but I never really had the time to try it. So maybe I'll go back to school and take a few art classes while I'm looking for the right job.
Listen and practice.
How the heart works. In Egypt, about 760 years ago, a famous doctor called Ibn al-Nafis studied the heart. He discovered that it moves blood around the body. He also discovered that blood travels from one side of the heart to the other side by moving through the lungs. In the lungs, the blood mixes with air. Blood leaves the heart through blood vessels called arteries, and it travels back to the heart through blood vessels called veins. In 1628, a British scientist called William Harvey wrote a book about this.
Listen and practice.
Family homes. Some people in the world live alone. Other people live with their families, other families, or with friends. In big towns, each family often has its own small home. But in many places in the world, lots of generations of a family often live together. This can be helpful because the grandparents can look after the children while the parents work. Sometimes, lots of different families live together in the same building, but on different floors. Who lives with you?
Listen and practice.
Different climates. The climate is different in different parts of the world. People build different homes depending on the climate. In temperate climates, the weather is usually mild. Homes are often built with bricks. Bricks keep water out and keep the homes dry. Homes often have large windows to let the sun in, and a chimney so people can light a fire when it's cold. Where it rains a lot, people build houses with sloping roofs so that all the water runs off and doesn't get into their houses.
Listen and practice.
Transportation is the movement of people or goods from one place to another. We can transport things in the water, in the air, or over land. We can use animals, vehicles, or just our feet. Sometimes we travel for work, and sometimes for vacation or just for fun. People used horses and donkeys for transportation in lots of places. People also used camels in Africa, elephants in Asia, and llamas in South America. People still use animals for transportation today.
Listen and practice.
Homes for a queen. The Queen of the United Kingdom has 2 homes. When she is in London, she lives in Buckingham Palace. Part of the palace is now an art gallery, and you can also visit the gardens. The Queen's main home is Windsor Castle. It is one of the largest castles in the world. Many kings and queens are buried here. In November 1992, there was a big fire at the castle. It took 15 hours and a lot of water to put out the fire. The fire destroyed a big part of the castle, but most of it has been built again.
Listen and practice.
The Forbidden City. The Forbidden City in Beijing, in China, is a big palace. There are palace gardens and nearly 1,000 buildings. It is the largest ancient palace in the world. It took 15 years to build, and it is surrounded by a high wall and a moat. For 500 years, it was the winter home of the emperors of China. In summer, they moved to the Summer Palace, 12 kilometers away. Today, the Forbidden City is a museum. Some people say that the bricks in the wall around the palace were stuck together with rice and egg white.
Listen and practice.
The White House. The White House is in the USA. It is the home of the American president. The first White House was built in 1800, and 43 presidents have lived here. That's all the presidents except for the first president, George Washington. About 5,000 people visit the White House every day. The White House today has 6 floors, 132 rooms, 412 doors, 3 elevators, 147 windows, 28 fireplaces, 35 bathrooms, 1 tennis court, 1 bowling alley, 1 movie theater, 1 jogging track, 1 swimming pool.
Listen and practice.
Topkapi Palace. Topkapi Palace is in Istanbul, in Turkey. It was the home of the sultans. Up to 4,000 people lived in the palace. There were schools, shops, libraries, gardens, and other buildings, so the people who lived there never had to go out. Some parts of the palace were destroyed by fires and earthquakes, but you can visit the other parts because there is a museum. About 800 people worked in the palace kitchens, and they cooked about 6,000 meals every day.